Is now the time to buy an investment property in Perth? Hi, it's Nero here from Investment Rise. And now that we know that the property boom in Sydney and Melbourne is well and truly over, the question is, where do you look to buy next? And the Perth market is a market that many people often ask me about. Why? Because it's so much cheaper than Sydney and Melbourne. Prices have been depressed for so long. So the question is now the time to buy? I know many local real estate agents, if you speak to them in Perth, will tell you, yes, you need to buy, it's a bargain, prices will only go up because they've been so cheap. But rather than relying on, say, the advice of a local real estate agent who's looking to try and sell you a property, let's look at some data. CoreLogic currently reports that the Perth market has officially hit housing crash territory as of August 2019. Now, what does that mean? It means that house prices have dropped over 20%, in fact 20.2% since their peak in 2014. But it actually gets worse than that, because according to CoreLogic, the median house price in Perth right now is $459,227. Let's round up and say the median house price in Perth is $460,000. But if you go back in history and you do your research, back in 2008, the median house price in Perth was about $470,000 or $480,000, depending on which report you read. So let's look at the lower end. Let's say it was $470,000. So consider this: 2008, median house price in Perth was $470,000. 2019, median house price is $460,000. It's actually dropped over the last 10 years. Okay, so this is when people say, it doesn't matter where you buy an investment property always doubles in 10 years. Here's an example where Perth, a capital city, prices have actually dropped over a 10-year period if you've held for that long. Okay, so the question is then, well, if prices are so cheap, will prices rise? And the answer is hopefully. Okay, there's a lot of people who'd love for Perth prices to rise, but the data doesn't show that Perth market is going to rise anytime soon. Because when I look at, for example, rentability, I speak to a lot of local real estate agents who rent the property out rather than actually try to sell the property, and they are struggling to get their properties rented. In fact, many locals in Perth talk about how difficult it is to get properties rented, especially the unit market over there. There's high vacancies, you're seeing falling rentals, especially in areas closer to the city like West Perth, for example. Okay, so if you're not seeing the growth, if prices are dropping, if it's hard to get the properties rented, why would you go and look to invest in Perth? And this is the danger of looking to buy in markets where you're just price driven, where you're looking to buy just because it's cheap. You need to look at the data. You need to look at whether there's a good chance that prices will rise. Are prices rising right now? And the fact that prices have dropped so much over the last few years and they're still below their peak back 10 years ago or more suggests that yes, there could be potential for the Perth market to grow, but there still needs to be a number of things that need to change. Primarily, the economy in Perth needs to improve. There needs to be more jobs. There needs to be an increase in population. We need to see the demand for property increase. We need to see stabilization of the area in terms of jobs. Until you see those things, and thirdly, mind you, you'll also need to see the vacancy rate really tighten up. Until you see those three things, I would say the Perth market is a market to stay away from. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you found this video valuable and you're thinking you might like my help to help you find an investment property, then head on over to nerocall.com to discover our unique 5-step process that's helped my private client group purchase now well over $66.2 million worth of property. And then if you like what you see, you can book in for a free half-hour phone consult with me personally. Either way, thanks again for watching.